Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. Before the episode, I have got to share one of my absolute favorite ride essentials, the Cyc Plus Smart Pump. This little thing goes everywhere with me. It's compact, powerful, and honestly a game changer on the bike. I love using it mid-ride when switching between terrains. I can drop the pressure for gravel and then pump it back up when I hit the road. Super easy, super fast. And of course, it's a total lifesaver in case of a flat or any loss of air. No stress, no hand pumping. Just press the button and go. You can grab yours with 10% off using my code ZONE2SPEAK. Link and details are in the episode notes. Trust me, once you try it, you won't leave for a ride without it. Cyc Plus Smart Pump. Smart, simple, and ready for any adventure. Now, let's hear it for the episode. Today on Zone to Speak, I am joined by Alex Dyson, adventure cyclist and part of the creative heartbeat of Restrap, the handmade bikepacking gear company that has become a global name in the cycling world. Alex has been with Restrap through its growth from a small, rider-driven workshop into one of the most respected adventure cycling brands. But beyond the workbench and the studio, Alex is a true adventurer, whether crossing the Alps, racing tough events, or disappearing to the hills of the UK to test gear in the wild. In this episode, we'll talk about how he first got into cycling and design, what's been like to grow with Restrap as the brand evolved, and how his personal rides from epic mountain crossings to multi-day gravel races continue to shape his perspective on adventure, storytelling, and simplicity on the road. Let's dive in. Alex, welcome to Zone to Speak.
So much. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's so good to see you. Happy
Yes,
to
you too.
finally have you here.
I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. So many people in the cycling world find their way into gear brands from different backgrounds. Can you take me back to how you first got involved with Restrap? What is your background? And how did you end up becoming part of the creative visual team there?
So it feels weird to be talking about this now because of how long ago it really was when you put it into perspective. It still
Yeah.
doesn't feel very long. But I moved to Leeds in 2012 to go to Leeds Arts University to study graphic design. Um, and basically, I bought a fixed gear bike to help get around in Leeds and to get to work and stuff because the buses were horrific and got me late to work all the time. Um, and I was on like a last warning, so I found a guy
That's
selling
another
a
story.
bike. Yeah. um, I found a guy selling a fixed gear bike on like Gumtree. It was like a Craigslist kind of thing.
Okay.
And he was all the way in York, and it was the only bike I could afford. Um, and it was, I think, £80 or something. And I was like, oh, that'll do. It doesn't really matter what it does. So I made my way over to York with the idea that I would ride it back from there. And I arrived, and I was like, oh, there's no brakes or gears. And he was like, yeah, it's a fixed
It's
gear.
here.
And I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, oh, I thought you were just some like student hipster jumping on the trend. And I was like, no, it's just the only bike I could afford. So he let me have a go around the car park. And I was like, oh, right, okay, I get it now. Um, rode it back to Leeds, coming off a couple of times on the way.
Oh my gosh. It's
Um,
not really a commuter bike when you don't have brakes.
yeah, I really regretted my decision about halfway back. I think it was like 15 miles or something.
Mhm.
And I was just like, what have I done? This is an awful idea. But I got really into it over the next couple of years. And Nathan, who's the founder of Restrap, was putting on these Thursday night rides, where
Oh.
everyone in Leeds that was on fixed gear bikes would meet up at a pub and then we'd go for a ride. And it was just more of a social thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Restrap, people won't really know this, but Restrap started off as a more fixed gear brand.
Yeah, you
He
started with the
started,
paddle thing.
yeah, the pedal straps.
Yeah.
Um, so Nath would like climb into abandoned cars in like scrap yards and cut out the seatbelt webbing, and turn those into pedal straps to sell to his mates. Um, and there wasn't any like other people making pedal straps back then in the UK, and it was so expensive to get them shipped over from the US, um,
Wow.
that he ended up doing really well from it. And then went into making like messenger bags and backpacks for that scene as well. Um, so I met him through the social side of Leeds, but then also got to know Restrap from that. Um, and I reached out to him about an alley cat that he was organising. It was at Halloween, and he called it the Halley Cat. And one of my projects at university was to create the branding and promotional materials for an event. And I just thought it would be quite cool to do it for a real event rather than just one I'd made up.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him and said, "Oh, can I do all the design stuff for the Hallycat coming up?" And I think he got back to me like 2 weeks later or something. By which point I'd already done it all because I was like, I'm going to do it for uni
Yeah.
anyway.
You have to
Um,
deliver for school, so.
yeah. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that would be really good. Can't pay you. There's no money, but there's also a really tight deadline. I'll need everything in the next few days." And I was like, "It's okay. I've done it all. Here you go." Um, and after that, we just started working a lot closer together. I did a few T-shirt designs for him. Started doing like the packaging, product guides, and website stuff. And like, I just started doing quite a few things with him that I'd try and like slip into uni work, and then he'd like pay me for little jobs that I'd spend my evenings on. And then we did our first Kickstarter together, which was a camera strap, um,
Cool.
and a belt as well. And I did all of those as like my final major projects at university. Um,
Wow.
and I think we had like a goal target of like £5,000 or something to get all the tooling and machines and stuff to do it. But it ended up doing like 50,000. And I was graded so well on it. It was such a good idea.
Wow. Wow.
Uh,
That's impressive.
yeah, it was. It's weird thinking back to all this because you don't really think about it too much. But yeah, after that, I got a job at a design studio, one called Lift, where I did the work for Mark Cavendish and Daniel Ricciardo when he was racing at Red Bull.
Wow.
Um, and I was doing restrap stuff like in my evenings and weekends as a little
Hmm.
side hustle. Um, and then I discovered that um, the sports agency that both Cavendish and Ricardo were with um, weren't going to be working with them anymore, which meant that I was going to be losing the design contract as well.
Bummer.
And I said to my creative director at the time, I said, "Oh, if I'm losing those two big clients, what am I going to be doing after that?" And he said, "Oh, don't worry, we've got like 3 or 4 months left, but after that, we'll move you on to the European tour, which is like the European golf body." And I said to him, I said, "I'd rather die." um, so I handed in my notice, and I called Nathan up and asked him out to dinner. Um, and he arrived and he was like, "What's all this about?" And I said to him, I said, "How many days a week of design work do you think you would need for £800 a month?" And I'm talking, this is a long time ago, so that was a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah.
That was basically all of my bills and rent and everything at the time. And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days a week." And I was like,
Yeah. Shake my hand.
um, so I got a desk space in Restrap where I could do all of my design work freelance. And Restrap was my biggest retainer at the time. So I was able to be there through all like the big changes and everything. Um, and it was only a few years ago that I went full time, because I had like quite a few retainers that I wanted to keep going for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
as Restrap started to really like kick off in popularity, especially after COVID, um, the amount of work just kind of climbed and climbed and climbed, and I was like, I can't do this with that much time anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so went full time, and then God, what happened after that? With this conversation,
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible. Really, really incredible. And as you said, Restrap has its origin. Oh my God, I can't pronounce any. I can't speak English anymore. The orange origin. Oh my goodness. So it's rooted on DIY
yeah,
and strong values on making things by hand. And as you spoke, like as the brand evolved, how much of that original ethos of making things by hand has been preserved? What has been the biggest pressure or temptation to compromise, and how have you resisted or adapted?
it's that's a really good question. As we've scaled over the years, it's not been as difficult as people would think, because of the rate of our growth has been so organic and so sustainable. We've been able to just like very much tier things up slowly. So we've always tried to be really like secure with investing in machinery, and making sure that our staff are really well trained and like retained as
Mhm.
well. So we've like over the years developed really nice ways of like keeping everything like organically moving up and growing, but not going too crazy. We're still completely independently owned. So that makes life a lot easier because we
Yeah.
can make all
Make
of the
decisions,
decisions,
be agile.
without anyone else saying, no, get more profit in and do this and do that. We need more. So we've been able to be really clever with how we've scaled, and making sure that our products are made in the UK has always been like the forefront of everything we do. Um, and like, there's a lot to do with that. Like, we know our own limitations. Our staff have obviously developed a system of doing things. And it also means that as we grow, we retain that quality that we're known for. And there's never going to be a moment where everyone goes, Restrap sold out. They moved all their manufacturing overseas. Um,
Mm.
like ever since the beginning, we've been priding ourselves on a lifetime warranty on all of our products. Um, we had I think it was a messenger bag come back the other day for a repair, and
Mhm.
we haven't sold a messenger bag for I think 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
And like we're still happy to like receive that and fix it and make it work again and then send it back again. And I think having that sustainable approach to design and manufacturing is a much smarter way to go about things, because if something like snaps and it gets thrown into landfill, you're just creating an amplified problem of consuming, throwing away, buying another one, or getting sent another one for free.
Yeah.
Um, like, I think the term warranty, a lot of people have kind of changed the meaning of that over time, where it just means we guarantee you'll have the use of a product. We'll send you a new one if it breaks. But what does that mean for the thing that broke? Like it becomes useless and it just goes in the bin. So having a sustainable approach has meant that we are still in the same routes as we first started, um, and everything just keeps going in that fashion. Um, as we grow and run out of the soft goods that we can possibly make, and we start working through hardware and things like that, there's things that we can't get made in this country, but almost always it will be just a component in the whole pipeline of other products made in the UK that will work with it, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. And I love the sustainability piece. I'm a huge, buying things secondhand or fixing things as much as I can. And I tell people, like, because people like, oh, look at you like, oh, you're being cheap. I'm not being cheap. I just feel like you need to reuse things and try to fix things as much as you can. And I think it should be companies' responsibility on what happens with these products that are being discontinued or unused, especially when we're talking electronics. But anyways, that's a whole new podcast. But what Restrap is doing, it's the future. Everybody should be doing this. It's a huge responsibility. And I agree, warranty doesn't mean I'll just toss this thing because it broke and they're going to give me a new one. No, it just means they're going to make it work again,
Mhm.
usable. Yeah.
And like the actual the quality of the product matters so much as well. Like, there's one thing saying, yeah, it's a lifetime warranty on this thing, but if the quality isn't up to standard, then it's going to make the business really unprofitable as well if you have to keep on fixing it
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
um, I think the most recent numbers I've seen showed that we have a 0.3% return rate for repairs.
Wow.
um,
That's so low. And
Out of the thousands and thousands of products that go out,
yeah.
it's pretty crazy as a figure.
And as a consumer, I think it says so much about a product. When I see something that says lifetime warranty or really long warranty, you know that it must be a good product. Otherwise, a company wouldn't put that out there because, like you said, then it's not profitable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if we were to sell something that had to either be replaced two or three times in its lifetime, then
Yeah.
where's the margin in that?
Yeah. Can you walk me through how a new product goes from an idea to a finished item? What are the major challenges, or how do you test things and on actual adventures? Like, you guys? I guess I mean you are a big writer. You guys do so many cool adventures that I really want to talk about it. But do you also take like prototypes on your trips to see like how does it work? What do we need to change?
Yeah, so I mean, from the start, the ideas always come from being out there on the trails and like
Hmm.
either being in a situation where something annoys you or you think surely that could be better. um, like the whole holster system that we've developed with the saddlebars and the bar bags, like having that ability to be able to unflick a buckle and pull the dry bag out of the holster and the holster stays on the bike has meant like there's no all of the straps like unraveling and everything, and it's not just faff. um, so it's things like that that have been developed because what already exists out there is either not good enough or could be improved or is annoying as a baseline. Um, but yeah, it's getting to the point now where every single product that we sell and make has been refined so much over the years. Like, we try not to be like seasonal or anything. Like, the main saddlebag that we launched like 7 or 8 years ago, it's changed maybe 4 or 5 times since, but no one ever really gets told it's changed. It's just we will find a better way of doing something and we'll update it. And if it's not like a huge design overhaul that changes the functionality of the product, we won't say anything. We'll just do it. Um, and what that's meant is the product gets to evolve over time. It never changes its name or its SKU, so everyone is familiar with that product and it
Yeah.
remains relevant and competitive within the market too. Um, but really, like when it comes down to product testing, our amazing ambassadors are like a huge route for that, where we will have so many iterations of a product whilst it's being developed that we are sending out to people doing specific races or adventures, or even just currently thrashing some mountain bike trails with bricks in the bag just to see
Whoa.
whether we can break it or not. And like there's so many levels to that, and we're currently working on like a system of like being able to record how long something's been tested for and how many miles it's done and what's been done to it in such a way that things can be a bit more consistent.
Hmm.
But because of the nature of our manufacturing and the way that we design, we can literally have an idea on the Monday and then just change it, and it will be getting made in a different way there and then because we're here.
Yeah, we
Um,
have all the shop is all together, right? Like from idea to execution.
exactly. So
Incredible.
when we come up with something, it's so easy to adapt and like refine, and we can
Mm.
try something there and then and be like, oh, that doesn't quite work. But if we did that differently, it's like it's not like a long-term sampling situation where you're having to send a design off and you'll get something back in a couple of months and then you see it and you're like, that could be different. So we're really lucky in that situation because we're able to just continuously move things along. And as a team, we're always out using the kit. So if anyone has any ideas while we're doing that, it's really easy to just put in motion.
Yeah, incredible. And that's, as a creator and designer, must be really, really cool. I have so many favorite products. I have to comment on it. Like the holster thing that you can take the bike bag out of the bike without the faff. It's amazing because when you are in an adventure or on a race, so many places, if you're not camping like me, team hotel, so many places will say you cannot take your bike inside. So then what do? Like you're in the dark, just digging for stuff on your bike bag, and then you forgot something, you have to go outside, or that the bike is in the room locked. Anyway, so that's really cool. I love that. You can just plan to have your overnight stuff on that thing, and then you just pull it out and you have everything with you. I mean, there are so many things. I mean, of course, the snack bags, I cannot get enough of those. So practical, and it looks little, but so much, a lot of things fit there. A lot of
Which
things.
which one are you talking about?
Um, the little one that goes on the handlebar that you can put
Oh,
like a
the little
bottle.
the stem bag one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, love that. And one that I don't use as much on the bike, but I use a lot on my day to day is the handlebar bag that becomes like a fanny pack on your
Oh
waist.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I use that all the time, all the
The
time.
utility hip pack. Yeah,
Yeah, hip pack. Yeah,
that was one of those products that we were just like, this kind of thing needs to exist because of like the day rider that just wants to be
yeah,
able to unclip a
commuting,
bag
love
and
it.
wear it.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, it's done really well. We use it all the time. It's a really good camera bag.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Works really good for that. But
yeah,
yeah, like all those things that you said, like they're like the core parts of our product range. So when we come up with something like the holster design, we implement it across every product that it's associated with. So even whether you're a bike packer that wants to carry 18 liters worth of stuff in a 600-gram bag, or you're a racer that wants to take just like a bivy and a sleeping bag in like a really small bag, like it's still a holster system. So even when you're not on the clock and you could be racing and like I need to get my sleeping stuff out and ready as soon as I can, or you're not looking at the watch at all and you're just going out for an adventure, you just don't want to deal with all of the faff. You
yeah,
spend more time riding and chilling than messing around with your bags.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it kind of goes down to that design language of the best design is design that you don't notice.
Oh, so true. So true. Yeah. You don't have to think about it, somebody else already thought about it for you and it exists.
Exactly. If you
Yeah.
don't notice it, it's dialed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can always install everything on my bike, which coming from me, it's a big statement. So Kudos
In
to
what
you
way?
guys. Oh, I'm just bad at like, if I buy something from IKEA, I always put it all wrong and then I learn and then I have to undo everything and then do it right. So if I can put that, those bike bags in my bike without much effort, it means that it's easy
It's
and quick.
simplicity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very simple. Yeah.
that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, your personal adventures. You are not just behind the scenes. You're out there, you're writing some serious adventures. Tell me about one of your first big bikepacking trips and what made it special.
Um, I'll talk about the first one because that was the one we certainly learnt the most on.
Cool.
And I think it was the one that was the route to most of the bikepacking ranges developments because we
Wow.
were just kids that had no idea what we were doing.
Mm.
So our first bikepacking trip, me and Nathan did it together with a couple of friends of ours, one called Tom and one called Joe. They were both friends within the fixed gear scene in Leeds, um, and I'd never done anything long distance at all. I think my longest ever ride was like 50 or 60 miles or something.
Okay.
Um, and Nathan said, "Do you fancy riding from north of France to Barcelona?" And I was just like, "Can you do that? Is that a thing that people do?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's touring. It'll be fun. We'll just carry our tents and sleep wherever we end up finishing each day, and we'll give ourselves 2 weeks to do it. It'll be a lot of fun."
Okay.
Um, and as someone that likes cycling and likes camping, I was like, "Yeah, let's go for it." Um, so I bought a road bike. I bought a bike with gears and brakes. Um,
Nice.
I did I did a lot more commuting just to train up for it. And when we arrived, like our flight had been delayed so much that we turned up pretty much at twilight. So the sun was just going down,
Oh,
and we were meant
wow.
to have done, I think, 40 or 50 miles that first day.
Okay.
So we were immediately on a back foot, and we just rode into the darkness
Oh
without
my
proper
goodness.
lights or anything. Ended up
Wow.
sleeping in a wine orchard, um,
Wow.
and woke up the next morning realizing that we kind of had to do about 80 to 90 miles a day to keep like the momentum going
Wow.
and get to
For
where
how
we
many
needed to at the right time.
days?
I think we were riding for 10 days in the end.
Wow.
Um, and that trip was absolutely incredible. Like, it broke all of us. We were absolutely exhausted. We were malnourished. We drank way too many beers every day. Um, we just slept wherever we finished. Like, sometimes it was a beach somewhere, sometimes it was just a field. Um,
Wow.
and I remember that first day seeing the Pyrenees and just thinking, we're going over that? Like, I'm already exhausted. But yeah, we went over like three different passes. We went over Obisque and a couple of others. Oh no, I've totally forgotten. It was too long ago. And it was when we arrived in Barcelona. It was such a feeling of ecstasy to
I bet. What
have
a high.
ridden all that way. The first time ever doing anything like that. We'd all survived. We'd all had loads of laughs. Nothing bad had happened. Um, and that was it. I had the bug. Like, from then on, we would organise trips together every single year. Um, we've been Scotland, we've been France, we've been Italy, we've been Croatia, Turkey, Japan, the USA, um, and like, there's always that feeling in the back of your head of like, where's next?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just like that's just relaxed touring. Just like take a week or a couple of weeks to just ride across a country, ab- absorb the culture, eat the local food, speak to people, um, and yeah, it's just the best way to travel.
I couldn't agree more. I just love bike adventures. And the bonding with your friends,
Yeah,
and the highs and the lows, and I think everybody says that you learn so much about a person when you travel together, but if you try bike packing, it's even more, because you run into problems like mechanicals or the route, and it's a lot of like how you solve problems, how you deal with those situations. But of course, there's not just those low moments. There's so many high moments, like looking at over the Pyrenees or arriving at your destination.
yeah.
Yeah.
All those
So
like huge mechanicals you have where you think, how on earth can I continue on? And then one of the
yeah.
guys will be like, oh, but if we zip tie this bit to your bike and do this, surely we can get to a bike shop.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and like, there's so much to be said about a group of friends like going through all of like the massive brackets of highs and lows, in the middle of nowhere, not being able to speak a language, and just like work something out and
Yeah.
end up at a bar later just laughing about it. I honestly, it's the best feeling. um, I'll never be able to stop, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. All of you still doing it together?
So the main consistency has been me and Nathan.
Mm.
I wasn't able to go on last year's tour because me and my partner just bought a house, and I was like, I cannot spend any money this year. So they went to Vietnam,
Oh, how
and I was really gutted
magical.
to miss out on that.
Yeah.
But you got to make adult decisions sometimes. But yeah, people have like come and gone over the years. Gideon's been a really great part of it. So has John, and like it's it's always like a nice gravity of people that we all come from the Leeds fixed gear days, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone's just kind of gotten into gravel riding and bike packing, and we've all got really sore knees now, so we have to find other ways of having fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on that boat too. I wonder, I haven't been on the Restrap website lately, but I don't know if you guys post any of those routes. It would be cool to share those routes with people. I mean, I want some of those routes.
We used to have like a route catalogue page years
Cool.
ago, um, and it was actually a really faffy thing to keep updated. And
Mm,
one day we had a look at like the page hits, and it was so low. We were just like, this isn't
really?
really worth
Okay.
our time. Um, but if you ever want a route, just let me know. I'll send it
I
to you.
will. I will, for sure.
And this goes to anyone listening to this as well. That's absolutely fine. We keep them banked. Um, but yeah, like every single trip had a different story to tell, and had its own merits. And like
Yeah.
every single one of them, you finish it and you're like, maybe that was the best trip ever.
Yeah.
And like it's so hard to kind of like quantify how good they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of my adventures with Juliet Elliott, big YouTuber, also Restrap ambassador. And of course, I love it because she's a wonderful friend, but I also love all the perks of once in a while going back and watching it again, all the adventures. That's really cool. You guys also have a YouTube channel,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
see
like
some of the
super
adventures.
amateur. Like
But that's
we
what is
we
cool about it. I love it.
yeah, we kind of we filmed the adventures as we did them. Like we did actually film the Nantes to Barcelona trip, but that does not exist online. Like it's so bad. Um, but like on every trip, we've always taken GoPros and cameras and stuff just to kind of capture it for ourselves. Occasionally, they've done really well online. Like the Japan one has crazy hits on it. Um, and that was because there's quite a lot of things that go wrong on it, so people love to be
Yeah.
entertained. But yeah, that's definitely a good one. But if I ever watch it now, I'm just like, oh my god, we look so young.
You guys are still so young, please.
Trying, pretending.
But you have also raced a lot. I don't know if you still have plans to continue to race. What has been your experience in the competitive endurance events? And any plans in the future to do some of those?
So it was actually really recently that I kind of started exploring the performance side of our weird little niche of cycling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was originally to settle curiosity to see what I was capable of, to see what some of our customers were experiencing, and to
That's
get
cool.
a feel of what an ultra race is. Like, I've done enough bike packing to know all of the different like levels of what's easy and what's hard and what you should do at given moments. And I was like, could I transform my brain into a little performance minded engine? Um, so one of the events that we sponsor, the Pan Celtic series, um, they offer a place to us each year when we're supporting it. And we usually give them out to ambassadors, but if an ambassador isn't interested in anything, then we let the staff have it. So that particular year, none of the ambassadors were interested, but both me and Nathan were interested in giving it a go. So we basically like split the ticket costs between us. We had like the free one, and then we paid for one, and then just
Cool.
split
Okay.
evens. Um, and it was quite an interesting year because all of our friends were like putting us against each other, like, oh, Alex is doing this kind of training, Nathan's doing this, and people were like taking bets on each other, and it was really funny. But neither of us had any idea of what to do to train for an ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was just doing stupid amounts of mileage just all the time. Like, I really burnt myself out. Um, and like we arrived at the race, we did it. I think I did the 1,600 kilometers in five
Wow.
days.
Wow.
Um, and like, I really had no idea I had it in me. I think I finished 15th that year.
That's
Um,
massive.
which I was absolutely stoked with. Like, you finish something like that and you're like really happy, but there's so many things I would have done differently.
Yeah.
Um, but that created another obsession in my head. And I was like, oh, if I improve that and do that and do that, I'll do better. So after the Pan Celtic was house buying year, so I thought I would hone in on things a bit more. I entered the Land Between race, which is one of our ambassador Rich
Yeah.
Rothwell's events. So it was the first year of that. Completely different kind of event. It was a lot shorter. It was, I think, 520 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, half what I'd already done. Um, and it was mixed surface. So there was a lot of like gravel sections and technical mountain bikey trails and like road sections. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be quite interesting to go for. Um, and it was such an amazing route. Anyone listening to this, go and check out the Land Between, because I did it again this year because it was just so fun. Um, but yeah, you kind of get in your head and start like trying to think of ways that you can cut time off or be more sustainable or efficient in
Yeah.
just all your decision making. Um, and the more and more you do it, the stronger you get as well. Like, your endurance engine obviously grows over time.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I this year I kind of decided I didn't want to think about performance stuff, even though I did the Land Between again because it's fun. Um, but I decided this year that I wanted to go back to the roots of what how we started it, because it'd been 2 years of like focusing on performance, that I wanted to just do a trip for the sake of the trip again. Um, and since we did the Pyrenees that first time, I'd always wanted to go to the Alps, but I'd never done it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
never had the opportunity or didn't plan it. And those bigger trips like Japan or Turkey take up so much time that you don't have any holiday leave for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Um, so I decided this year I'd go twice. I'd do like 2 different weeks. One of them a road tour, with Nathan and some of the Restrap guys, um, and then do an off-road one. So organised to do the Torino Nice
Oh,
Rally.
wow. Cool.
So I'd got like both sides of it in one year. but without any pressure of timing or distance or anything performance based at all.
Nice. Love
So
that.
it was really nice to kind of, like it was to go into racing with everything I'd learned from bikepacking, to go
Hmm.
back into bikepacking with everything I'd learned from racing.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask, like, what's the biggest difference for you between adventure ride to race mode?
Um, I would say distractions. I
Hmm.
would say that if you're on a bikepacking trip, you absolutely welcome a beautiful view or a nice looking restaurant or a guy that comes over and talks to you, wants to chat to you about his life. And
Yeah,
like you just absorb everything around you. You're there to see it, experience it, taste it, smell it. And I think racing, you kind of have to put, put blinders on for that. And
yeah,
you just focus on the one thing that you're there to do. And that sounds really, really crap. But it's also really therapeutic to just shut everything out. Um, and I think that's probably why I've never raced in a place that I'm really interested in culturally. Um,
mm,
like the Pan Celtic was north of France, which I've been to already, and then south of England and Wales, which I've already been to. So I didn't really care about seeing things and
right.
experiencing it.
Yeah.
Um, and then Northumberland, no offense, Rich. I was like, I know roughly what it's going to be like, so I'm not too bothered about those sections I'll do in the dark or anything like that.
Right, right. Yeah,
Whereas if I was somewhere beautiful, I would really hate missing it.
yeah. It makes total sense, and it's so accurate that bikepacking, you adventure, you can welcome all the distractions. That's why we're there. But on a
Exactly.
race, you just have to be laser focused and just keep pedaling and be super efficient on your
Mm.
stops, on your sleep, on your eating, everything. Yeah, yeah,
And I
very
love them
accurate.
both for very different reasons.
Hmm.
And I think when you work at a brand like Restrap, like there's so much opportunity for adventure. Like everywhere you look is just you're constantly talking to people about the trips they're doing, or you're talking to race organizers about the routes they're planning, and like your athletes and ambassadors about what they're planning, and you just have a constant stewing pot of ideas, and it's it's really nice to have that like split mind where you go, that's a race I would do because I've either been to that place and I know the culture and I wouldn't learn anything new or experience much more new.
Yeah,
I can be in my therapy mode of laser precision,
yeah,
or there's, oh my God, I really want to experience those views, that landscape, that food, those people.
yeah,
Um, it's really nice to have that kind of balance in your head.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not the fastest and I do need sleep. So a lot of times on races, people close to me, they were also in the race, would say like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful. I didn't see that." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because you're racing,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
racing at night, and you missed all the beauty." Yeah,
Hmm. And I think in these ultra races, like, I do think do it to race it, but you might be racing your own benchmarks or you might be racing within your
yeah,
limits. There's like different levels to it.
yeah,
Um, and I think there are always going to be people that have a full 8 hours sleep and a lovely time on like a race, but it's also like it might as well have been a holiday.
yeah, 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 yeah. For me, sometimes it's just because I'm not I really want to get better at it and more comfortable with making routes. So sometimes, it's just easier for me to go like Rwanda, the race around Rwanda. I was just like, oh, I really want to go there. This is great. There's a route. I can come. And, but of course, for you to finish 1,000 kilometers, you still, on my pace, you really can't sleep a lot.
Hmm.
So
No,
I
absolutely.
can. So it's still a little bit of a pace race, but it's comfortable that to know that there are other cyclists in front and on the back, and there's a route that I can follow. I don't have to worry about my own mistakes on
It's
getting
a
to a
nice
dead
safety
end.
net,
Yeah,
a really nice safety net of like the community around you as well,
yeah,
and like getting to meet new people that are also interested in the same thing.
yeah,
All of that's like a wonderful thing.
yeah,
I really love that side.
yeah, yeah. But I do also have my phases where I'm like, I also just want to do adventure. I don't want to be racing all the time, and that's why I also want to be getting better and better with the making routes.
Mhm.
I think it's important as well. Yeah, and
Also, people put a lot of pressure on the route making side, like the amount of tours that we've planned from across the sea, like having no idea where we're going, and it's just like, oh, there's a mountain there. Should we see if we can get to the top? Yeah.
hmm,
Maybe we can't. We'll find out on the day.
you guys are nuts. Yeah, yeah,
But
you're
like
right.
that's
We should also relax a little bit, and if it doesn't work, you can just turn it around, find another way. You're in an adventure, anyways, and getting lost can be part of it.
exactly. If you've got somewhere to put water and food and you have a sleeping system with you, there should be no worry or panic about, oh, but what if that's a dead end, or what if that doesn't
Yeah,
work, or like I think the Japan trip we did was so great because we literally had no idea. And we were in the middle of the mountains and found out that there was going to be the biggest typhoon in 25 years about to hit.
oh, wonderful.
Um, it was the first time I'd ever had
Wow.
like one of the national disaster notifications from Apple, and I was
Wow.
like, oh, we've got a day to get out of here. And we like on the fly there and then just made a plan to go over a different mountain range to the closest town like 60 miles away. Um, and there was nowhere to get food on that way. So we just had to do 60 miles without breakfast or anything.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it's that or you're stuck in a storm. So,
Yeah,
um,
you gotta keep going.
and you're as soon as you're in that situation where things are going wrong, you can just do anything. Like you just work it out. Especially
Yeah,
if you've got support, like you've got Juliet on your trips. Like
yeah,
I've got a group of people as well, and more often than not, the fears of things going wrong just doesn't matter. You can work it out.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think the first time Juliet and I went on an adventure, we were like, let's save up weight and space. Let's not duplicate on tools. But then we quickly found out that we should duplicate on tools because you can lose stuff, something can go wrong. So now
Yep.
we're not trying to save space or weight anymore. We learned the hard way.
I even duplicate my tools for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sometimes have a backup of a tool in another part of my bike.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. What's next for you? Any new adventures planned? And
Um, we were at the pub yesterday, and
uh-oh.
we were talking about what's next, and
Hmm.
I have no idea. Like, there's so many places that are like floating on the list, and do you know that's a really good thing about the ultra race scene is it gives you a glimpse into these different parts of the world that you wouldn't have normally known about.
Yeah.
Like even if you're not interested in doing the race, you suddenly have a picture of what this certain place looks like that you wouldn't have thought about before. So
Hmm.
that obviously causes issues when you're trying to work out where you want to go because you're like everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few places that are on the list that we'd like to go. I genuinely couldn't tell you at this point. Um,
Well, I'm sure you guys are gonna come up with something amazing as usual and funny.
yeah, here's to hoping. Here's to
Yeah.
hoping. We always find the funny in it.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Restrap? Where do you see Restrap heading in the next few years?
So we are currently on like a really interesting cusp right now where we went from obviously fixed gear pedal straps and messenger bags and things into bike packing at a time where no one really did it. It was such a niche, it was so
Yeah.
specialized. And over the years, that niche has grown so big. And like it's become a really trendy thing to do,
Yeah.
and which is amazing for us because it's allowed us
The
to
bigger world.
make
Yeah.
make a lot of friends, see a lot of places around the world, but also all grow together.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the way that you see Restrap over the years, like it is so obvious that the brand is almost growing up with us, and like
Mm.
as our interests and like passions change, so does the brand to reflect that. We're
Yeah.
almost always the target demographic, which is
Yeah.
a really difficult sometimes and interesting space to be in because it makes it a lot harder to differentiate work and play. Um, it makes you a lot more driven, you have a lot more passion for it, and you want it to succeed. So you put a
Yeah.
lot more into it. But then also,
Mhm.
you spend your free time going off and bike packing, and you're like, is this work? I'm currently testing a bag setup that I wouldn't have usually chosen. Um,
Yeah.
and the way I see it going is always moving with the like trends of how bikes fit
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately our stuff straps to bikes and there's so many different kinds that we have to be really on it with making sure our equipment fits what is being used by our market and demographic. Um, so that's one thing to consider. Also, trying to expand that demographic to make our business more sustainable. So, introducing bike packing to more people. Um, for example, I've been talking to a lot of trail runners recently that have discovered bike packing as a form
Oh,
of doing their training, their endurance training, in a way that is less destructive than running. Um, and
yeah.
like,
Much less
there's
wear and
these
tear.
exactly, and like, there's this whole spectrum of people that love being outside, love camping, love cycling, that haven't quite added them all together yet. Um, so if we can like communicate to those people and show them how easy it is and how much fun it is as well, we'll just keep moving along with those times. We're also such a small business that people think we're huge. Like, I suppose I would argue we are probably the biggest bikepacking brand in the world right now, but we are still 40 people. And
Quite lean organization. Yeah.
90% of that is manufacturing.
Wow.
Like the rest of us are either marketing or shipping and logistics or customer service or trying to keep production being managed and things like that. And like we're so able to move with the times because of that reason.
Mm.
Um, and I don't think we would ever get to the point where this is so big that we have to forecast like 2 years in advance and things like that
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't think there's any need, and that disrupts the way that we work.
You guys have the right recipe, so I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like a family owned company that's gone out of control.
Yeah. It's so cool how, you guys are friends and you started on the cycling scene and just one thing led to the other and you guys now are running this fun, successful business and doing great things. So, big congratulations and it's been such a pleasure to have you on the podcast finally.
Thank
Great
you.
to talk about Restrap and your adventure. Your story really captures what makes this community special. So thanks for sharing.
That's so nice. Thank you so much, Juliana.
To everyone listening, go check out Restrap and Alex Rides on Instagram. You'll find a mix of inspiration, dirt, and perfectly packed bags. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for tuning in to Zone to Speak. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and keep your wheels turning wherever the road leads next. And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.